Hey everybody, and welcome back to our Active Kids Elementary online experience. We are so excited to be doing this. We hope you and your family enjoyed last week. We loved seeing all the photos and videos you took on Instagram and Facebook. Continue to do that. We want to compile it and put it together and release a video on Easter to show that everybody across all of our locations, scattered all over the world or all over California, is watching Active Church online. So thank you so much for joining us online. Right now, we're going to get started and we're going to jump into our family group time. So right now, just gather around the circle, and what you guys are going to do is go through some highs and lows of your week, something that went well, something that didn't go so well, and then I want you guys to ask this question, all right? Number one, who is your favorite TV show, game, movie, villain of all time? And could you forgive them for what they did in any of those things? What would you do and how would you forgive them? All right. So mine, for example, is Thanos. I love Thanos. I think he's one of the greatest villains. But I could never, ever in a million years forgive him for turning Spider-Man to dust. So take some time around your family and ask that question and go through the highs and lows. We'll be right back. Hope you enjoyed your family group discussion. Now raise your hand in the room, and if you are like me, you love Thanos but can never forgive him. I relate to you people. We are like each other. Right now, what we're going to do is we have a memory verse that we're going to memorize together this week. It's all about forgiveness, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the screen and give you guys some time to commit it to memory and see who can memorize this memory verse the quickest, all right? We also want you to record it and put it on your Instagram, Facebook, tag us at actv.kids, and see who in your family has the best memory. And so here's our memory verse. It's from Colossians 3:13. It says, "Put up with one another. Forgive one another. If you are holding something against someone, forgive just as the Lord forgave you." And if you guys need to put some hand motions together, go ahead and do that. I'm going to do some for you, and maybe you can copy mine or make up your own. But here's how I'm going to put it, right? Put up with one another. So like you're holding somebody up. Put up with one another. Forgive one another if you are holding something against someone. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. All right, so you guys can go ahead and make up your own. You can use mine, but that always helps me to memorize things. So take some time to commit this to memory. It's going to be on screen. And then after a while, try to close your eyes and see who can memorize it. And again, record it. We want to see those responses. All right, if you are the person in your family that memorized the memory verse the best, you have bragging rights. Brag all week, brag online, tag us again, Instagram, Facebook. We would love to see you guys reciting Colossians 3:13. And so right now, we're going to take some time to get up and get the blood moving and pumping. We're going to play a game together. And our story today is a continuation of last week's story. Last week we learned about the son who was lost and then found. Well, today we're talking about the father's oldest son. And he had a different problem. He had trouble forgiving his younger brother for what he did. So today we're going to play red light, green light, because sometimes when we forgive somebody, it's easy for us to go forward. It's like we have a green light to move ahead and move forward. But when we're holding our forgiveness and we're not giving it to other people, it can hold us and other people back or even slow us down. So we're going to play red light, green light. Make sure you go in a room in your house that has plenty of space, plenty of room. If you have to, I suggest going outside if you can in your backyard and maybe your front yard and giving yourself space to play this. All right. Now, just remember, this is how you play red light, green light, all right? Green light means you can walk. Yellow light means you walk slowly, like slow motion. Red light means you have to completely stop, all right? No cheating, kids. I see you cheaters in there, and I was one of those kids too. So go ahead, take some time to play red light, green light with your family. It's so awesome to get outside and get some fresh air when you've been outside for too long, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed that time. And right now we're going to move into a time of worship. We're going to sing and dance and tell God how much we love him. So I need everyone to stand to your feet. Last week, this is one of my favorite things, seeing you all singing and dancing together as a family. So again, take pictures, take videos. We would love to see this. But we're going to worship right now. So go ahead, stand up, get ready to move.
You are above every other. Your love amazes me. You created every beautiful color. Forever want the world to know. I want my life to show just what your love has done for me. In your love I'm free. In your love I'm forgiven. Forgiven. Your love, it makes me sing. Your love, it gives me a reason to lift my voice, yeah. I lift my voice, yeah. You are the giver of all things good and perfect. I give you all of my praise, God, 'cause only you deserve it. I want the world to know, I want my life to show just what your love has done for me. In your love I'm free, in your love I'm forgiven. Forgiven. Your love, it makes me sing. Your love, it gives me a reason to lift my voice, yeah. I lift my voice, yeah. I sing and dance, I clap my hands, I lift my voice, I lift my voice. I sing and dance, I clap my hands, I lift my voice, I lift my voice. In your love I'm free, in your love I'm forgiven. Forgiven. Your love, it makes me sing. Your love, it gives me a reason to lift my voice, yeah. I 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 lift my voice, yeah.
It's always a great time to be able to get up, sing, dance, and worship God. And if you're looking for some new, fun music to listen to as a family, Active Kids put a playlist together made by our very own Heidi Hutchison, all right? So if you are looking for some music, check out Instagram and Facebook. We're going to be posting our playlist on there. It's going to be on Spotify is where we're going to put it together. And you guys can go ahead as a family and dance and sing along to these songs. We're going to have some Disney songs, fun worship songs, and some of Heidi's favorite family songs that they sing together and they dance to together. So we hope you guys enjoy that. Right now, we're going to move into our Bible story time. And like I said, last week we learned about the son who was lost and then found. This week, we're going to be learning about his older brother. His older brother stuck around with the father and was there for him, but he's having a hard time forgiving his brother for what he did. And his father has some wise words and wisdom for him. And so today we're going to learn about him, their relationship, and a little bit more about forgiveness. So before we get into that, I would love to pray for you. Join me. God, thank you so much for this opportunity to still meet together during these crazy times. I pray for each one of these families, these kids, these parents, these aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, whoever is with each other today, God. I pray that they just have a sense of overwhelming hope and joy from being able to worship you and learning more about you, God. I pray today we learn more about forgiveness and how we can take steps to forgive one another, even when it's hard. We love you. In your name I pray. Amen. Here's our Bible story this week.
Hey party people, I'm Erica, and actually I'm planning a party to celebrate fixing up my new apartment! All month long, we've been talking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is deciding that someone who has wronged you doesn't have to pay. Forgiveness can clean up some pretty bad messes, which is exactly what I've been doing around this place. So before we get this party started, I'm going to show you one last do-it-yourself hack involving my new kitchen table. My friend Chris volunteered to help me move it into the apartment, which was great of him until the incident. It was Chris's idea to turn the table sideways to get it in the door. I told him it wouldn't work, but he did it anyways and broke one of the legs. So guess what? I was right and he was wrong. Now look at my table. Meh. Ugh. So it was Chris's fault that I have to spend my whole afternoon showing you how to make a table more level. Thanks a lot, Chris. Guess who's not getting invited to the party now? It's you, Chris. Let's do this thing. Huh, that was pretty easy, actually. Let's check this out. Test 1. Test 2. Yay! Last but not least, test 3. Oh man. Don't think that lets you off the hook, Chris. You're still missing out on my party. Today's story is about a guy who wasn't so sure he wanted to party. My party's going to be great, by the way. We're going to have music and games and snacks. And although Chris would usually be the one to bring the snacks, plus he plays the best games and picks really good music. Ugh! If Chris isn't invited, maybe I'll be the one who misses out.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Luke, chapter 15, verses 21 through 32.
When Jesus wanted to share something important, He often told a story to explain what He meant. Now, one day, the religious leaders were grumbling because Jesus chose to bring in outcasts and people who did things wrong.
He hangs out with sinners and even, eats with them.
Jesus knew their hearts. These men thought they were better than everyone else. So He told them the story of a man and his 2 sons. Now, the youngest son asked for his share of his father's money, and he took off. He spent his money on parties and all other stuff. But then, the money ran out, and he ended up at a miserable job feeding pigs, while he himself starved. Desperate, the young son returned home, planning on begging for mercy and working as a servant. Instead, his father welcomed him with open arms and even planned a party for his lost son in his honor. Ultimately, seemed like a happy ending. But Jesus wasn't finished with the story yet.
The older son was in the field. When he came near the house, he heard music and dancing.
If Jesus were to tell that story to us today, it might sound something like this. The older brother, let's call him Will. He spent the entire day working hard, perhaps plowing up the packed dirt on a brand new field.
Come on, Bessie. Just one more row. Gotta finish before the light goes.
As the sun slipped behind the hill, Will finished breaking the dirt on his last long row.
I just need some water and a quiet meal and bed.
Will trudged slowly back to the house and left Bessie in the barn with a bag of oats.
If my slacker brother hadn't run off, I wouldn't have to work so hard.
As Will neared the house, he was surprised to see the lights blazing from every window.
What is going on?
Will stopped, trying to make sense of all the activity and the music. Then, the back door opened. One of the servants stepped outside to throw out a bowl of scrap, and she turned to go back inside.
Wait.
The servant paused.
What's happening?
It's just the party for your brother.
The what for my what?
You haven't heard? Your brother showed up this afternoon. Your dad had the fattest calf killed and roasted to celebrate. He is so thankful Jake's safe.
A party? My dad is throwing a party?
I'll let the family know you're back.
What? No. I am not coming in.
The servant wrinkled her nose.
Whew. You want someone to run you a bath first?
Leave me alone.
The servant hurried back inside. Will paced as his exhaustion vanished and anger coursed through his veins.
I work all day. Every day. Has Dad ever thrown a party for me?
Will stalked back and forth, fuming as the back door opened up again. His father hurried out.
Will, here you are.
Well, look at that. You decided to remember I exist.
Your brother is back. He's okay.
Well, that is just fantastic.
We're all celebrating, but it's not complete without you. Come on inside.
Will turned and looked directly at his father, eyes blazing.
All these years, I've worked non-stop for you. I've done every single thing you asked, and you never even given me a goat to have a party with my friends.
You never said you wanted.
This son of yours runs away with your money and wastes it like a fool. Then he shows up and you roast a fatted calf and throw a giant shindig.
Will's father sighed, took a deep breath, and looked Will directly in the face.
My son, you are always with me. Everything I have is yours, but we had to celebrate and be glad. This brother of yours was dead for all we knew. And now he's alive again. He was lost, and now he is found.
Look, I'm real tired. I plowed the entire north field.
Thank you.
I think I'll just go to bed.
Won't you come into the party? Just for a few minutes.
Will hesitated. He could see the people through the window, dancing, eating, full of joy. The light and the music called them.
Please, Will.
We don't know if the older brother ever listened to his father. We don't know if he ever forgave his younger brother. We don't know if he chose to go and enjoy the party. But what we do know is that if he stayed outside, he missed out on many good things.
The older brother in Jesus' story totally missed out. Being right was way more important to him than repairing the relationships with his father and brother. The father, on the other hand, forgave his son and threw a big party! Forgiveness is something we should celebrate. Think about it. In the beginning, God decorated for the biggest party ever when he made paradise for his people. But over time, people got further and further and further away from paradise. So, God sent Jesus. Because of what Jesus did for us, we can be forgiven. Jesus even said that when someone turns to God, there's great joy in heaven. Maybe like a party! When you forgive someone in your heart, that's worth celebrating. I mean, forgiveness can save relationships. It can even make someone else feel like they matter. And forgiveness can take the weight off your shoulders too. But when you hold grudges and you don't forgive, you can miss out on all that stuff. That's why the one thing to remember today is this. When you don't forgive, you miss out. So, of course, I'm going to forgive my friend Chris for breaking my table even though I was right and he was wrong. I don't want to miss out on our party. And I definitely don't want to miss out on our friendship. That's way more important to me than being right. Well, that's all for now. I've got to go get ready for a party. See you around.
Being a part of a family can be complicated and hard sometimes. And in our story, this older brother was having a hard time forgiving his younger brother for what he did to his dad. And he was also having a hard time because he stuck around. He did all the hard work. He showed up to work on time. He was there for his father and his family. But his father gives him awesome wisdom. Even though this older brother is mad, his father talks to him and he says, "Son, number one, we need to celebrate your brother's return because he's back, and he was once dead. Now he is alive, and he's back in the fold in the family. That's a reason to celebrate. And we need to be excited about that. And number two, he noticed his son's hard work, and he said, everything I have when I die is now yours because you stuck around and you did the hard work. And his hard work didn't go unnoticed. And that's the same with God. Our hard work, and when we work hard to forgive others, that doesn't go unnoticed by God. I want to share a verse with you. It's 1 Corinthians 15:58. It says this, "With all this going for us, my dear, dear friends, stand your ground and don't hold back. Throw yourselves into the work of the master," meaning God, "confident that nothing you do for him is a waste of time or effort." God sees your hard work. God sees when you forgive people. So let's continue to work hard for him, and let's continue to work hard to forgive others and ourselves, because that is an easy way to be able to move forward and become the best versions of ourselves. I have a couple questions I want you guys to ask in your family group. 3 questions, and here they are. The first one is, why can it be hard to forgive? Why is it so hard for us to forgive others sometimes? The second one, has there been a time when someone has forgiven you? Have you received forgiveness before? How did that feel to you? How did that change your life? And finally, God forgives us no matter what. How can we learn from God and learn to forgive more like him? Take some time in your family as a group and discuss these 3 questions. I hope you guys enjoyed your family group time. Those are some tough questions. Continue to think about them throughout the week and come up with new answers, or maybe answers you never thought of before, because these are hard questions to answer. Forgiveness is such a big topic to discuss. And so there's going to be things you can think about throughout the week. And I want to remind you guys of something. When we don't forgive, we miss out. Just like the older brother almost did. He almost missed out on the celebratory victory of his little brother coming home. And we don't want you to miss out. So let's take steps to forgive people and forgive ourselves. And a couple other things I want to remind you of. Number 1, Sunday we are doing our live stream again for active churches. Our worship team is going to be there. Pastor Mike's going to bring an encouraging message. So join us Sunday on Facebook and YouTube at 9 a.m. and 10:45. Invite your friends and family to it. Share the videos as you're watching along. Comment along with us. We want to hear how this is impacting your life. And finally, if you are watching for the first time or you're new to Active at all, there is a link in this description for you to fill out some information. We want to connect with you and see how you guys are doing through these hard times, and also maybe send your kids something really cool throughout the mail. So make sure you check out that link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We would love, again, to see your pictures and videos that you guys are taking of this time together and hear back from you. Thank you so much for those that have already done it. We love the support and the great videos that you guys have shared with us. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again this week.